Hello, welcome to another episode of Gregtech New Horizons. This is Zypher, and my little friend behind me. But I have quite the confession to make, honestly. As you can see, there's been quite a few changes around here that pretty significant, actually. This is one of the major ones. But first, I guess I should explain to you exactly what I'm leading into. Also, must I say, these guys take some weird items to feed them with. I'm healing you with the redstone repeaters threefold? Oh, and now your favorite food is a door? Okay. Okay, you're happy and healthy now. Anyways, I had done recording for actually a lot of content, and upon going into edit the footage yesterday, I guess the day doesn't really matter to you guys, but upon going in to edit the footage, I realized the audio quality was absolutely garbage. Every now and then words would drop out. I don't think I had the microphone in the correct physical position, and just a couple other factors played into that, and I'll be honest, I raged and deleted all that footage. So, I have a bit of explaining of things that I've done around the base, and then we'll get into what we're going to get started with today. First and foremost, well, it wasn't first, there were a couple other things I did first, but I did finally install the rhodium part of platline, as well as osmium right here, and the last one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is rooted. I don't know. Another thing we did was add quite a few signs to label our different large chemical reactors over here. And I believe, I might be mistaken, but I believe I added this saltwater electrolyzer and fluorine to our mix. Maybe I did that last episode. I don't know. I'm so lost now. I know for a fact this is new though. This is a new centrifuge specifically for making us nitrogen, which I have set at 2 million for the time being. And then this massive complex here is strictly for our newest super tank here, high octane gasoline. And we have a lot. Also, yes, I know I do not have the display enabled right now. That is on purpose because I'm showing off / showcasing all of our new things. We'll get started soon, don't worry. As you saw in the intro to this episode, I did add 4 new Extreme Combustion Engines, and boy did I have the hardest time trying to figure out why my power was continuously draining even with all 4 of these on. I spent about an hour and a half trying to troubleshoot that, and eventually came to realize our hatch here going into the LSC actually was a 4 amp energy hatch, so the whole time I had all 4 of these running, only one of their power was technically being output. However, now we do have 16 amps of IV being input, plus our benzene turbines over yonder. And if we go down to the LCR room for circuitry stuffs, the second processing array for assemblers might be new to you. Can't quite recall, these are 4 EV assemblers. And I have 3 different fluids. This does need to undergo a bit of tweaking still, as it's not entirely... Oh, no horses were harmed for the production. That's good to know. As it's not entirely efficient at the moment, but it gets the job done and makes our crafts extremely fast. And since I updated to the pre-18 dev version, we added a new setup for, I can't remember the name, hold on. Silicon Solar Grade Poly Si Dust. Interesting. I'm not gonna lie, when I first set this up, I did 4 different large chemical reactors and was told later in the Discord by a fine gentleman / fine lady that I only needed the 2-step process. This makes us silicon tetrachloride, which is automatically input to the next chemical reactor, which makes us the silicon solar grade. I don't think I mentioned this, but I did tweak this room a little bit so that our interfaces don't take up nearly as much of the space and it doesn't look as ugly anymore. I reworked our fluid solidifying area via level emitters to be a little bit more neat, as well as house 8 of the different fluids that we need to solidify. Upgraded a bunch of our storage drawers so that we can house / store a bunch more materials. However, I'm really not too sure how much longer I'm going to be dealing with this, as we can make large storage cells fairly easy now via AE. That also leads me to the point of me redesigning this ore depositing room, and even added a little area down beneath where I started to organize all the different ores and dust by color and all that good stuff. However, like I said, I'm slowly realizing I might as well just store all of this in the AE system. I also did a little rework of our EBFs here. I now have radon being put into this EBF system here, and then this single EBF is for any hydrogen on oxygen recipes. And I think one of the last few things I wanted to mention was the fact that I had weeds completely overtake our little area here and wiped out all of the titania crop as well as chenillium. I'm not entirely sure how those weeds came about, but they did, and they wreaked havoc. The rest of the farm, however, is doing extremely well, except for the fact that I'm noticing it's stopped. Oh yeah, and I also added this dual LCR setup here that is used for making us Tungsten Trioxide Dust, as that is an extremely useful resource, especially when you're trying to build those. You guys still with me? I think we're fully caught up now. Let's get into some real fun. Now, first and foremost, I think I want to try to empty all of these storage drawers out into our AE system, as I think we have plenty of space in our drives. Well, I just thought about it. I have a much easier way of doing this, especially since we have storage drawers with large amounts of items in them. We'll go ahead and place one right here, and we'll swap this conveyor over to the side, set to export. No, set to import. Yes. And it all goes directly into the interface, which goes into our AE system. A lot less painful than clicking all of the items out of the drawers yourself. And add the next drawer, which when it has small amounts like this, it goes extremely quickly. And we can just sit here and monitor our storage drives and make sure we don't go into full capacity. I highly doubt we will. I have to say, this is a really good idea on emptying out all of our storage drawers. I don't know why I didn't think about this sooner. I think in the grand scheme of things, we'll probably end up moving all of these drawers as well down below to that little room. I just have to figure out how exactly I want to organize it. Now, it does look like our drives are starting to fill up a little bit, even though the ones on the right are all 64K as well. These 4 on the left are only 16, so I feel like maybe we should craft up some more 64s, just so that we don't have to worry about it in the immediate future. Here are 6 more 64K storage cells. Can pop all of these right in here, and I can take out these 16Ks, import them via the MEIO port, maybe. And we can take those drives and disassemble them, not that way. There we go. Which gives us the housings back. Combine those back with 64K cells and pop them in our drive. Next project is going to be a new centrifuge multi-block. That should be a complete structure, which it is. Fix our maintenance problems. Now we've got our P2P connections for fluids connected. We'll add yellow limonite to one input interface. and brown limonite to the other. Next we'll grab us 2 EV conveyors. I want to make sure I'm maximizing throughput into these hatches. We'll go ahead and craft up 2 more super tank 5s, one for oxygen, one for hydrogen. Now I think what we're going to do is add both of these to the floor next to it. We'll grab this hydrogen super tank along with its fluid control and his P2P connection. I think we'll add him on the back side and reset our frequency for the transmitter. Next we'll do the same for our oxygen setup. Transport all of our oxygen down below into the next level super tank. And I just realized we broke the input frequency for this one. However, if we come into here, I should be able to change this mode to bind input, find our oxygen. I'll just have to sit in here and find our oxygen P2P connection that's sitting under the centrifuge. This should be him right here. Let's go ahead and bind that input. We should see that link. And it appears that might have jacked everything up still. This is gonna suck. And it just, oh the joys of finding all the other P2Ps that we need to fix now. So I wonder if we select this, it'll show us all of, oh my god, this is gonna be a disaster. I should have never moved this. But it'll still show them all highlighted, which was my hope. I just have to go and hit all the ones that are highlighted with our new memory card. There's gotta be a better way to do this next time. Now, I believe we should just be able to start it up and start to get some oxygen and hydrogen from this. And I just knew all of that limonite would come in handy. Just had to set up a good process for it. Out of curiosity, what's our hog supply at? 6,294,000. I think that's one of the processes I forgot to explain, but I think this is anti-knock agent here, nitrous oxide here, gasoline, well, raw gasoline, and hog, and an oil cracker for the light fuel, which gets sent to a distillation tower, for octane, which is actually disabled right now. We're at full capacity on that. Should mean then that if we had heavy oil, we would be seeing light fuel start to back up in this tank. But it appears we have run out. Hello sir, did you run out of fuel? Looks like that. Indeed. So what we can do is come over here, place our tank down, should fill up extremely quickly. And just like magic, we'll start to get some more heavy oil. Now what I did just realize is this should not be stopped. I don't believe I have a limit set on this. So what are we missing? Gasoline. Alright, with our biomass setup now hooked up to the main line, we have the pyrolyze oven being run on EV power, the distillation running on IV, just to help boost the acetic acid production a bit more, which means ultimately we have hog or high octane gasoline continuously being produced. The next thing I just got done doing is setting up the lubricant hatch as well as a basic input and output interface for our new cutting machine multi-block, because it is time for us to start assembler machine casings. Time to get into the assembly line. Really not too bad. We need some NOR chips, we need diodes, We need some more nickel zinc ferrite rings, some energetic alloy, and I don't quite understand why we need alumina. I need to figure that out. Now I believe to solve that problem we can just add a recipe for aluminum dust to aluminum ingots. We'll pattern something for the NOR memory chip. We need under an Ender Eye lens. Don't have that one set up yet. Add the circuit and the lens to the hatch. And up here we're going to need to add another pattern. Time for NOR memory chips. We just need energetic alloy in those rings and diodes. Oh, and RAM. So we can come to this interface and add the diode pattern. I'm really hoping I have the green lens set up already, but part of me thinks I don't. Nope, so we'll go here, add the circuit and the lens, add the pattern, and come to the cutting machine to add its pattern. Now I think we should just have nickel ferrite zinc rings and energetic alloy. Alright, I think everything is fixed. All we need to do is turn all these nickel zinc ferrite ingots into rings. And if I'm not mistaken, these should be requestable now. Yes, they are. And we can just take a quick glance at exactly how many materials are about to be used just for one step of the assembly line. But this is very well needed, so let's go ahead and start it and see where we hang up first. And again, one of my favorite things is to watch just how quickly AE takes care of a lot of these different things. And a slight little update for you. We are just chugging away on this recipe. We have about 22 more of the mainframes to complete, as well as 47 of these quantum computers. Looks like one of them actually already crafted, which is kind of cool. I have some aluminium queued up, and I've just been kind of going through our crafting terminal here, finding some of the largest collection items, if that makes any sense. And I'd run out of oxygen at one point and caused me to consume a bunch of our fuel. So I went ahead and set up this multi-block electrolyzer that has started processing just some of our different things that we get. And I was having a problem with it completely loading this with one thing and then not using the rest because of the number of items I have it set to output. But this seems to have done the trick, so thank you Magikarps. But as you can see, I have a okay stockpile of hydrogen, but we have our methane LCR over yonder to help back that up, and an extremely healthy supply of oxygen. So for now, we just wait a little bit longer for the rest of these assembly casings to complete, and then we can start to work on the rest of the parts. Alright, it looks like our assembler machine casings are finally done. It only took probably 14 hours combined of just waiting on circuits to be processed. Upon waiting for all of that to finish, I noticed over here in our farm that all of those schnelium crops that I was replacing just mysteriously started to die. And upon using a portable scanner in this chunk, I realized that we had close to earlier was 500,000 gibble. And I think a large majority of that reason was our fermented biomass setup being right in this chunk, which is directly parallel to our crops, as well as this EBF room can't be contributing too greatly to the pollution there. So this is going to be moved. I'm actually working on a massive room behind here to expand kind of our ore processing area. So this will be fun. This is just the first little framework. I plan on extending this out to the sides and farther into the mountain. That way our EBFs can pollute all of the rocks, and I won't care about the rocks. Now fermented biomass on the other hand, I figured since it's part of our fuel production, I might as well slide it over here a little bit farther away from the crops. Might even add a pollution scrubber in here eventually. But I think I have everything assembled, all the channels rerouted, and I wanted to bring you guys with me to test out the logic. Looks like we've got fermented biomass being made extremely fast. Now we just need to make sure it shuts off when it reaches its threshold, which it did. Automation is so beautiful. Now with this input hatch completely full, its maintenance problems taken care of, we should be able to start running this and see a lot of these tanks fill up. I just want to verify all the output hatches put into the tanks and we'll know we're good. Oh shit. It might help if I connect the power line to the fucking power hatch. No explosions. Let's try this one more time. There we go. Now we can verify everything is leaving the output hatch except the acetic acid because I made a large chemical reactor for that one. We've got to introduce some redstone logic to shut that off when it's full, or we might just void it. But yes, everything else is continuing to empty into the super tanks. And I believe we have successfully moved over our fermented biomass process. Next up, like I said, is going to be the EBFs. So that's going to be a much larger project as I plan on adding 3 new EBFs to our entire chain, I guess you could call it. Off to do some more expanding. Now before we get into reorganizing the EBF room, we're gonna crash apparently. The real truth, are we taking off in a rocket? I would not be surprised if we are. Yep, before the friggin' world can even load. Oh my god. Alright, well I guess we're still doing this. Hopefully nothing breaks. Or hopefully we don't get stuck in space. I mean, I am an alien after all. Destination Series. Wow, what a scenic view. Okay, that's more like it. And here we have one simple task. Our first scan did not go well. Second scan, okay. Could be better. We'll come back when we've filled this field out a little bit. Alright, I think I've decided on a spot. I think we'll go right here and try to harvest both of these 2 palladium veins. And it appears we have screw up number 1, as I don't even have any of the miners on us at the moment. Well, back to the overworld we go. Alright, now with both miners in our inventory, we should be able to set them up and start getting some more resources. So our first miner we're going to put right here in this 2x2 area. We'll get manganese, lapis, electrotine, and palladium. And our first miner set up. And now with our second miner here in between a plutonium, electrotine, and 2 manganese veins, we'll see plenty more materials. Time to make our departure back home. Do I have enough fuel? Yeah, that should be plenty. See you later, series. And a beautiful return home, hang gliding in the rain. And if we come and check our ender chests, we should definitely see minerals starting to deposit. Now some of this we're going to have to sort down just so that these chests don't fill up too quickly, but I have a little solution coming up on how to manage all of these different dusts and whatnot that come in. And for now, I'm gonna AFK and let these run for a little bit while I clean the cars. In real life, that is. Maybe one day Minecraft will have cars, that'd be sweet. Or maybe I should just build a moon buggy for our tier 4 adventure. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a few. Well, the cars have been cleaned, and I've been hard at work making this brand new room, so let me show you guys what's been up. Introducing our brand new EBF room slash Vulcanist slash whatever else I decide to put in here. I've got power completely ran. I'm just trying to re-put in these interface patterns and get everything running smoothly. We can add another set of coils to this set of EBFs, as this is what I've had cooking up in the background. And it looks like with our temporary power line, I think everything just went okay. Alright, now we can fit our last 3 mufflers. Add 6 item input hatches. Fix 3 rounds of maintenance. Should have running fines. Wonderful. Now all that should be left is to pattern some more recipes and get these suckers cooking. So I've been making quite a few preparations here, mostly to get started into our LuV tier, which will also finish off this long episode. First and foremost, I have a crap ton of HSS being smelted up, as that is one of our main components in making some of these different parts. Rotors, plates, screws, all the above. I even got some yttrium barium cuprate smelted up, but I think we might go ahead and craft quite a bit more of this, as we have fat supply, to say the least. I also got done mixing up some more ruridit that just needs to be smelted down now. An 11 with radon, which uses the same blast furnace we're using right now. That's unfortunate. Anyways, one of the main things I'm trying to do at the moment, I want to add all 4 fluid extractors here, and then convert these simple ore washers over to a massive multi-block one. So I just finished smelting up a bunch of molten grismium. Did I even say that right? Grisium. Now we just need to fluid solidify it. Okay, it's been a little while later. I have the ore washer pretty much built. I just need to get these beehives out of here, actually. Don't mind me. We are connected to power. Now we just need to run some AE stuff this way. And I think for now, until we establish a more primary AE line for the ore washer and whatever else I put next to it, we'll just hook right into the EBF P2P connection. And my plan here is to do interfaces on all the sides and conduit out of it. So we'll do simple washer I1, simple washer I2, we'll do extract on purple, and each one will get 5 speed upgrades. Now I think all we need to do is configure it to start washing some of our common dust that we get in. That in turn though means we can finally get rid of this bad boy, or these bad boys. I think we've got to use the screwdriver here. Yep, simple washer mode. What are the others? Chemical bath and ore washer, but we want simple washer. And I think by trying to turn this on, it'll start to fill itself with water. Yes, very nice. I don't know exactly what that process is, but okay. Now I'm just pretty much going to go through all of these different impure dusts that I've been starting to collect and see if they're worth processing further. Like magnesite, for instance, no need. I have tons of magnesium. Pyrolusite's another one, gives us manganese. We have tons of manganese. So I think you get the point here. Look at the speed. This is way better than relying on 2 ULV simple washers. Great job, Apex. And just like that, I was able to move 3 of our fluid extractors right over here next to our parts room. And these will end up freeing up some space here in the single block machine room to move some of these machines over and maybe have some more work area. To be honest, I don't really know what made me want to do this project, but it's done now, so happy days. Oh, I remember what made me want to do this project. We look at our first recipe, we can see we need multiple different types of fluid. I guess I was wrong in assuming that it was soldering alloy when in fact it's actually end alloy. I think that was one of the new changes that was added. However, what it does allow us to do is finally link a connection to our P2P in the circuit assembly room that will be able to deposit soldering alloy. So I no longer have to do that manually. I guess what I really need to see is how terrible this end alloy is. Oh, that's really not that bad. And the alloy blast smelter, I might have to dedicate one just for this. Oh, can it really not be facing this way? That's kind of annoying. Don't tell me it has to face to the side. That's dumb. Well, I was really hoping that this miner would finish before we decided to take a trip back, as I foresee us having to go back very soon after this trip just to move it. But we'll go ahead and lift off. Be right back. And no problems aside from a stuttered landing again. Super weird. Now here soon, it'll start to output some ores. And we'll have 2 miners going on Europa, collecting all the samarium we can get. Time to head back. Now something else that I added over here to our miner output, I don't remember if I mentioned this, so I'll find out when I go to edit the video, is an ore dictionary card that I can filter so that any of the pure dusts, so not just anything with the tag dust, but anything with the tag dust and that is not impure, will be exported into our ME system. And I just need to do this on the other side now as well. Now I should have enough channels for this to activate. And we can see it slowly backing some items out. Therefore, what we can do, craft a couple acceleration cards to speed up the process. And after adding these, boom, nothing left in the chest. So we can go ahead and let these miners run and do their thing. And in the meantime, I need to craft up one more because we're running into a slight problem. In order to make the alloy blast smelter, our second one, we need a bunch of this zirconium carbide, which calls for zirconium dust, and the only way to get that efficiently is through sifting either ilmenite or tin. Ilmenite would work, but there's only 2 chance outputs versus tin that has 4 different chance outputs. So I could either go and get a crap ton of ilmenite right now, or tin. We just stocked up on tin, so I think I'm going to go the ilmenite route and head back to Mars for a little bit. Or I guess we don't even have to go to Mars. We could go to Callisto, Ganymede, the asteroids. Not even on Mars, for a matter of fact, at least for a pure ilmenite vein. Okay, neither of them are on Mars, got it. Anyways, let me figure out what planet we're going to go to, build this next miner, which will be number 3, and I'll catch back up with you guys once we have it built and we're headed back. Again, it has been a little while later, and I've just got done tweaking our miner test output setup slightly. Eventually I'm going to mirror this side to be the same, but this allows us to have two different miners going at once. These are just facades with item conduits behind it, and just got done installing this other IMI import bus to help export all of the normal dust that we'll collect. Now it is time to head to a new planet. I almost messed up and didn't grab any more mining pipes. We would have landed on said planet with 1. 4 large stainless pipes. Give me mining pipes. Okay, I think we're good now. Hopefully I can launch this in the rain. I don't think I've tried this before. I guess we'll see. So far so good. Starts to look a little weird way up above. Look way off in the distance. Do you see what I see? Interesting capsule. So I guess these things are what we'll mine? I don't know, seems kind of weird to me. But I like that. No map. Okay. Oh no, it took a second to load. Okay. Interesting that it doesn't show the ore vein. I guess it's because it's not really a vein. I really want to know what these are. Ice blocks. Dense ice, that is. Now, I'm not really sure if it's worth putting a miner here. I think I would like to harvest this, but I think we can just do this by hand. I don't think I need a miner for it. I think it's really weird that for some reason the hammer won't mine this as I mine the rest of it, but I'm going to gather as much of this as I can on the 1 oxygen tank and then focus on placing a miner, I guess, on a different planet. And not the asteroids. I'll have to do some research on this and see if it's worth it. Quite honestly, I think that's enough Naquata for now. Okay, curiosity struck and I broke into one of these, and this is kind of weird. What is this place? Yeah, not quite sure I understand the hype here. However, what I do like is that no mobs are up here. Let's go handle this miner. Pretty sure I decided for this that I was just gonna go back to Ganymede. Oh, that's the fastest I've ever loaded onto a planet. That's nuts. And what we need from here is ilmenite. However, I want to make sure I maximize the ores that I'm going to pull out. So let me find a good vein to slap this on. Ooh, here it is right here. I think this is exactly what I want. Diamond, palladium, some limonites. Actually, this one's even better. And give it a whack. And time to disappear back to the overworld. Oh, I wish I could abort. Look at that. The frickin' miner is not running for some odd reason. Crap. We'll be coming right back. Or I guess in theory, yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming that those engines can't run high octane gasoline. So let's just play it safe and go back, and I guess we'll set up a different ender tank combo. I can't think of anything that I would have missed setting the miner up. Well, it appears they run hog, so I had to have messed up somewhere. Where did Apex mess up? Where did Apex mess up? Okay, I guess somehow Ender tank got flipped so it ran out of drilling fluid? I don't understand how that happened. Must have double clicked it on accident? Me don't know. Hopefully that stays running. I'm gonna run another backup so that I can load from it in case it stops again. Okay, it's still running. I think I can safely go back. Well, these parachests truly are special. Next, we want to take purified ilmenite out of the maceration centrifuge. That made no sense. Out of the maceration stack. And we can take the crushed version, add it to a drawer down here. Apparently we never reconfigured our ore washer for ilmenite. Now we're not going to end up sifting all of this, but I do want a decent amount of zirconium. So we're going to go ahead and slap it in to the ME interface and start sifting away. Go ahead and make some quick zirconium carbide. Now finally, I think we can craft some end alloy. Let's give it a shot. 40 seconds. Oh my god. Oh, how beautiful, our first batch of end alloy. We'll have to figure out a way to automate this eventually, but this'll do for now for us to manually craft our first LuV parts. Oh my god, to make 32 of these motors we need another 286 ruridit. Okay, I guess we'll scale it back a little bit and try and do 8 motors instead of 32. And I believe that's all the parts. Let's see if we can actually get this to work. I might screw this up entirely, in which case I might just eat the loss, but let's give it a shot. We have the data stick input, maintenance is corrected. We do need to run some power up to the hatches real quick. So our first item, I believe, is magnetic samarium. Second, I forgot already, HSS, and then 2 hatches for ruridit and 1 for cable. HSS, ruridit, however you say that, and 1 for cables. Hopefully this works. Well, I'm actually terrified to try to run this, but let's try. Oh, it's running. Should we anxiously wait and watch the output hatch? Bus? Output bus. I can never get those right. Oh my goodness. We have our first LuV motor. I want to say I'm in the LuV age, but I won't consider that until this thing is completely automated. Judge me. And look into my beautiful eyes while you're at it. Wonderful, I'm so happy. We get into automating this next episode. Anyways, I know it's been a while yet again. I'm clearly proving that I cannot put out videos quick enough with how I live my life and how insane this mod pack is. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully next episode we can get this thing fully automated and really move into the LuV tier. See what's in store for us. Again, thanks for tuning in, and if you'd like your name, or I guess rather if you'd like to be a slime in the world of Apex, leave a comment. Maybe you'll be surprised. Thanks again. See you guys.